This is Revenge File Tales, and tonight I'm telling you my story. My name is Emma, and this is how my own mother tried to erase me from my sister's graduation, and how the truth became my quiet revenge. I still remember the way her voice cut through the speakers. It was a Saturday afternoon. My laptop was balanced on the edge of my desk, my palms sweaty even though all I'd done was click a Zoom link. My heart was pounding so loud I honestly thought my microphone might pick it up. I had stared at that link for almost 10 minutes before I joined. The subject line was simple: family graduation meeting, important. My grandma had forwarded it to me in secret, with a short message underneath: "You should be there, Emma, you're still family." I didn't know if she was right. After everything that had happened, family felt like a word that belonged to someone else. Still, it was my little sister's big day coming up. Lily, the one person I missed every single day. So I clicked. Faces started popping up like little windows into lives I used to live. My uncle, my aunt, my grandparents, cousins, and then my mom. She was in the center of the screen, like she always managed to be in every room, even a digital one. No one noticed me at first. They were laughing, talking over each other, complaining about cameras and microphones. Normal family chaos. For a moment, I just watched, like I was looking through a window at a house I no longer lived in. Lily's face appeared a few seconds later, like the universe had delayed the hardest part for last. She looked older, thinner. Her hair was longer, pulled back into a messy bun. She was smiling at something my grandma said. That smile hurt more than anything. My throat tightened. I almost left the meeting right then, hovering over the leave button, ready to slip out before anyone noticed I'd been there at all. And then my name flashed across the screen. Emma has joined the meeting. The entire grid seemed to freeze. My mom's smile dropped first. Lily's eyes widened, then darted off to the side, like she was checking with someone else in the room. A few relatives shifted awkwardly in their seats. Hi, I said, my voice small and uncertain. Hey, everyone. No one answered at first. My uncle cleared his throat. My grandma tried to speak, but my mom raised her hand, like she was physically there, like this was her living room, and not just a row of pixels. Somehow the gesture still shut everyone up. Who sent her the link? My mom snapped. Her voice was sharp, cold, and louder than it needed to be. I shrank back instinctively, even though she couldn't physically reach me. Mom, I said carefully, Grandma forwarded it. I just wanted to... We don't want to see your face at her graduation. She said it slowly, clearly, like she wanted to make sure nobody missed a word. My chest tightened so hard it genuinely felt like something cracked inside me. The silence that followed was worse than any shouting. My grandma whispered, Linda, like she was ashamed to even say my mother's name. Lily's mouth parted, but no sound came out. She just stared at me and at the camera, like she wanted to say something but didn't know how. I could feel my eyes burning, but I refused to blink. I would not cry in front of them. Not again. Okay, I said softly. Wow. My mom leaned closer to the camera, her face filling the screen. This was the same face that used to kiss my forehead goodnight, the same face that used to tell me she was proud of me. We talked about this, Emma, she said, slow and controlled, like she was dealing with a stranger who wouldn't stop calling. You made your choices. You walked away from this family. You don't get to show up now and ruin Lily's moment. Ruin. That word again. It had followed me for a year like a stain I couldn't scrub off. I didn't walk away, I said, my voice shaking but still there. You pushed me out. Her eyes flashed. I am not doing this again. Not in front of everyone. You know what you did. I looked around at all those tiny boxes. Some eyes were sympathetic, some were cold. Some just looked tired. Did they really know what I did? Or did they only know what she'd told them? Maybe they don't, I said quietly. Maybe that's the problem. My mom's jaw clenched. End the call, Lily. For a moment, my sister didn't move. She just stared, eyes glossy, like she was begging me not to say anything else. But something inside me snapped. Not a loud, dramatic break. More like a rope that had been slowly tightening for years, finally reaching its limit. No, I whispered. Actually, maybe it's time they all know. My mom laughed, but there was no humor in it. You are not turning this into one of your dramatic stories, Emma. You have done enough. I stared straight into the camera. It felt like I was finally looking my entire family in the eye. "You're right," I said. "I have done enough. I took the blame for something I didn't do. I walked away so you could keep your perfect story, but you're not going to use Lily's graduation to erase me." Her face hardened. "We don't want drama. We want a peaceful graduation." "Then stop pretending," I answered, "because the piece you're talking about was built on a lie." For one long second, nobody breathed. Then my mom snapped. "Fine," she said. "You want to talk about lies? Tell them why your father left. Tell them who made that phone call. Tell them who tried to destroy this family." There it was. The thing we never said out loud. The night everything changed. The story she'd been using to paint me as the problem. Every eye on that screen was on me now. "Okay," I said, barely above a whisper. "I will." And in that moment, with my mom glaring and my sister silently crying, I made a decision. I was done being the villain in her story. If I had to lose whatever thin connection I had left to tell the truth, then so be it. If you had met us 3 years ago, you never would have believed this was where we'd end up. We were the kind of family that took matching holiday photos whether we liked it or not. Big Sunday dinners at my grandparents' house. The cousins running through the yard. The adults laughing on the porch. We had a big, noisy group chat where someone was always sharing bad memes or reminding everyone about birthdays. From the outside, we looked normal. Happy even. On the inside, there were cracks. But you don't always notice cracks until something heavy lands on them. Growing up, I was the responsible one. The good oldest daughter. I got good grades. Teachers liked me. Relatives would pat my shoulder and say, "You're going to make your parents proud one day." My little sister, Lily, was the softer one. Sensitive. Artistic. She cried easily, but she also laughed easily. I used to braid her hair before school, taking way longer in front of the bathroom mirror just so we didn't have to go downstairs yet. Our dad worked long hours but tried his best. He brought my mom flowers just because. Sometimes he'd show up with takeout when mom was too tired to cook, which as we got older, happened more and more. My mom, Linda, was complicated. Sometimes she was fun. She'd blast music in the kitchen. We'd have late-night movies on the couch. She'd hype us up like we were the greatest kids in the world. And then, with no warning, she'd turn. One plate left in the sink. A B+ instead of an A. A forgotten text. Something tiny, and suddenly the entire house was tense. We learned to read her footsteps on the stairs, the weight of the front door when it shut, the way she said our names. When I was 16, I realized something I couldn't unrealize. We didn't just live with a stressed mom. We lived with someone who needed everything to be about her. If she was upset, everyone had to stop what they were doing and revolve around that feeling. If she was happy, everyone had to match that or risk being accused of ruining her mood. If something went wrong, someone had to be the problem. For a long time, I tried to be perfect so I wouldn't be that problem. Straight A's, helping around the house, watching Lily when mom needed space. I thought maybe if I kept everything under control, mom wouldn't snap. It worked. Until it didn't. Because when you spend years trying to keep the peace, you don't notice that you're also training someone to see how easy you are to blame. The night everything changed, I was 19. I'd come home from college for the weekend. It was supposed to be normal. Wash my laundry, catch up, watch movies with Lily in our old room. I woke up around 1 a.m. to loud voices downstairs. At first, I tried to ignore it. My parents argued sometimes. About money, work, nothing new. Then I heard something in my dad's voice I'd never heard before. Fear. "Linda, stop, please. The kids are upstairs." "Do you think I care?" my mom yelled back. "You ruined everything." I swung my legs off the bed. Lily was already awake, staring at the door with wide eyes. "Stay here," I whispered. I stepped into the hallway and crept toward the stairs, my heart pounding. I sat on the top step where I could see just enough of the living room. My mom was in her robe, hair messy, face red. My dad was standing a few feet away, hands up like he'd been caught doing something terrible. On the coffee table, my mom's phone lay face up. There was a text thread open. My dad's name. Another woman's name. I didn't need to see the messages to know what it was. Cheating. The word dropped into my stomach like a rock. "You think I'm stupid?" my mom shouted. "You think I wouldn't notice you working late every night?" "I ended it," my dad said. "It was a stupid mistake. I told you." "A mistake?" She laughed. A wild, broken sound. "How long? How long did you think you could play house with me and her?" I shifted, and a step creaked. My mom's head snapped up. "Emma?" she called, sharp. I froze. My dad turned and saw me on the stairs. His face crumpled with guilt. "In your room, now," my mom ordered. I went back up the hall, but I didn't go into my room. I pulled Lily into the hallway and closed the door behind us. We sat on the floor, backs to the wall, listening. Words like divorce and lawyer and I'll take the kids floated up the stairs like smoke. My hands were shaking. "We'll be okay," I whispered, even though I didn't believe it. "I promise." The next morning, the house felt wrong. Too quiet. My dad made breakfast like nothing had happened, but he wouldn't look anyone in the eye. My mom moved around like she was made of glass, answering only when she had to. We ate. We pretended. No one mentioned the fight. No one mentioned the texts. I thought maybe they'd fix it. Maybe it would become this buried secret in the walls. One more thing we never talked about. But my mom is not the type to forgive. She's the type to look for someone to blame. A few weeks later, I did something I thought was right. I took screenshots of the messages and sent them to a trusted family friend, an older woman who'd always looked out for us. I didn't blast them publicly. I didn't shame anyone. I just wrote, "I don't know what to do. Mom is falling apart. How do I help her?" I wanted someone older, outside the chaos, to help her see she had options, that she didn't have to stay in a dead marriage just to keep up appearances. I didn't know my mom sometimes went through my phone when I was in the shower. I didn't know she'd see that message. Or that she'd twist it into something completely different. One night, I came home from class, and she was waiting in the kitchen. Her arms were folded. Her jaw was clenched. My phone was on the table between us. "What is this?" she asked. My stomach dropped as soon as I saw the screen. The open chat, the screenshots, everything. "I was trying to help," I said quietly. "Help?" she repeated. "By sending our private pain to other people? By humiliating me? By making a joke of my marriage?" "I didn't show strangers," I argued. "I sent it to someone you trust, someone who could help you. I trusted you," she snapped, slamming her hand on the table. "You went behind my back. You turned my life into gossip." "I just didn't want you to handle it alone," I said, tears pricking my eyes. "You were scaring me, Mom. You were saying you didn't want to be here anymore. I panicked. "Don't you dare blame this on me," she hissed. "You made that choice. You destroyed your father. You destroyed me. You destroyed this family." Her words hit harder than any slap. I stood there, choking on air, while she rewrote the entire story in front of me. My dad's cheating, her threats, the months she'd already known. Suddenly, none of that mattered. What mattered was that now she had someone easier to blame. Me. At first, it was just at home. Small comments, sharp looks, sighs that lasted too long. If you hadn't meddled, if you hadn't sent those messages, if you just minded your business, then it spread. At a family dinner, my aunt asked where my dad was. My mom gave this heavy, tragic sigh. "Well," she said, glancing at me like I wasn't even there, "some people couldn't keep private things private. It's been hard on the marriage." Her eyes stayed on me just long enough for my aunt to follow. Later, my uncle pulled me aside. "You know your parents' relationship is their business, right?" he said gently. "You're still a kid. Don't try to fix everything. You'll just make it worse." I wanted to scream that I hadn't created the problem. I just tried to get help for a wound that was already bleeding all over us. But I didn't. I stayed quiet. And silence is a dangerous kind of permission. By the time my dad officially moved out 6 months later, the story was simple. My dad had been unhappy for a long time. My mom had been doing her best. I had stuck my nose where it didn't belong and blew everything up. He hugged us at the door, eyes red and hands shaking. "I'm so sorry," he whispered into my hair. "I'm sorry I put you in the middle." He didn't correct the story. He didn't say, "Your sister didn't destroy anything. I did." He just hugged me like an apology and walked out. My mom watched from the porch, arms crossed. As soon as his car disappeared, she turned to me with a look I will never forget. "This is your fault," she said quietly. "You did this." I opened my mouth to fight back, but Lily was right there, tears already rolling down her face. So I swallowed it. I took the hit. I thought I was protecting my sister. I didn't want to throw all of this at her. I didn't want to be the one to say, "Hey, Dad cheated and Mom knew." and now they're both using each other's pain to destroy everything. So I let Mom write her version. I became the problem child overnight. She told relatives, Emma got involved in things she didn't understand. She told friends, Emma exposed everything to outsiders, and everything fell apart. People believed her because it was easy, and people love easy more than they love true. Over time, it wasn't just the story they heard. It became the way they saw me. The cousin who didn't get invited to group outings. The niece the adults talked about in low voices. The sister who caused drama. And then, worst of all, it started to affect Lily. My quiet, gentle little sister pulled away from me. Our late-night talks turned into quick hellos. Our inside jokes faded into awkward silence. She stayed in her room more, stayed on her phone more, stayed away. One night, a few months before her graduation, I finally cornered her. We were in her room. She was scrolling through her phone, pretending not to care about anything. Lily, I said, sitting on the edge of her bed. Talk to me, please. I'm fine, she muttered. You're not, I said gently, and you're allowed not to be. I said I'm fine, she snapped, her voice suddenly sharp. I flinched. Are you mad at me? I asked. She put her phone down and looked at me. For what? She asked carefully. I don't know, I admitted. For the divorce, for Dad leaving, for whatever Mom's been telling you. Her eyes flickered. She said you went behind her back, Lily said. That you told people our business, that you made everything worse. Did you? I sent screenshots to someone I thought could help her, I said. After she had already confronted Dad and threatened to leave him. I didn't break anything, I just refused to pretend it wasn't already broken. You still went behind her back, Lily said. Maybe if you'd stayed out of it, they could have fixed things. Fixed what? I asked quietly. Dad's cheating? Mom's threats? The way they were using us as weapons against each other? She's hurting, Lily said defensively. She's been hurt for a long time, and you just made it bigger. Something in me wilted. Lily, there's more to this than you know, I said softly. Like what? She asked. I hesitated, because here was the real secret. My mom had known about the cheating long before I discovered those texts. She'd already confronted my dad, already screamed, already told him she'd ruin his life if he walked away. She'd threatened to take his money, threatened to take us, threatened to make sure the whole world saw him as the only bad guy. When I found the evidence, I wasn't exposing something she didn't know. I was exposing something she had already decided to use. She knew before I did, Lil, I said. She found the messages months earlier. She used them to control him. She didn't tell you that part, did she? Lily stared at me like I'd spoken another language. Why are you saying this? She whispered. Why are you trying to make her look bad? I'm not trying to make her look bad, I said. I'm trying to make you see that this story she's been telling, about me destroying everything, isn't the whole truth. Well, maybe I don't want the whole truth, she snapped. Maybe I just want my family back. You can't get your family back by pretending it was perfect, I said. That's not how this works. Get out, she said suddenly. Lily, get out. So I did. I walked out of her room. A few weeks later, I walked out of that house completely and moved into a tiny off-campus apartment with a roommate I barely knew. My mom told everyone I'd abandoned the family, that I'd chosen my own comfort over my sister. But the truth was simple. I left because staying meant disappearing. It meant shrinking myself to fit the role she'd given me, the villain. I thought leaving would calm things down. I thought maybe, with time, the truth might leak through. It didn't. The story just got louder. By the time graduation planning started, I was the outsider. The one not in the group chats. The one no one mentioned in front of my mom. Then my grandma sent me that Zoom link, and I clicked. Back in that call, with my mom staring at me and the whole family holding their breath, I did something I hadn't planned to do. At the bottom of the Zoom window, there's a little button. Record. I clicked it. I'm recording this, I said. My mom's eyes widened. You are not. I am, I interrupted. Because I'm tired of everything getting twisted later. I'm tired of being the only one who remembers what was actually said. Stop the recording, my aunt said nervously. We don't need this. You don't need it, I said. I do, Lily whispered. Emma, don't. Please. I looked at her, and my heart hurt. But I knew if I backed down now, we'd just end up in the same place again. "You want to tell your version?" I said to my mom. "Go ahead, but I'm going to tell mine too." So I did. I told them about that first night, hearing the fight, seeing the messages, how my mom had already known, how she'd already threatened my dad. I told them about the screenshots, about the one late-night message I sent to a family friend, begging for advice because I was scared of what my mom might do to herself. I told them how my mom found that message, twisted it, and turned me into the villain in her story. The entire time I spoke, my mom sat there with this tight, controlled expression. "You're skipping your part," she finally snapped. "You make yourself sound like some little hero." "I'm not a hero," I said. "I made mistakes, I admit that. I shouldn't have sent those screenshots without telling you. I was 19 and scared. But I didn't lie, I didn't cheat. I didn't decide to dump all the blame on my kids so I wouldn't have to look in the mirror." Faces in the little boxes shifted. My grandma wiped tears. My uncle stared down at his lap. My aunt bit her lip. Cousins pretended to be frozen or muted. "And you know what hurts the most?" I added. "You didn't just do this to me. You did it to Lily. You made her believe I was the reason everything fell apart. You loaded that on her shoulders like she wasn't already carrying enough." "Stop," Lily whispered. "Please, just stop." But my mom wasn't done. "You see?" my mom said to them, pointing at me. "She doesn't care how this affects you, Lily. She just wants a spotlight. She always has." "I don't want a spotlight," I said. "I want a record. I want something I can look at when I start to doubt whether I'm really as awful as you say." I took a breath. "I'm not asking anyone here to take my side," I said. "I'm asking you to stop repeating a story you've only heard from one mouth. If you still want to believe I ruined everything after hearing this, then fine. But at least you'll be doing that knowing the full picture." My mom let out a long, shaky breath. "You're not coming to the graduation," she said. The sentence felt like a door slamming in my face. "This is exactly why," she went on. "You make everything about you. You couldn't just sit quietly and let us plan. You had to turn it into a show." "I won't come," I said softly. "Not if it's going to cause Lily this much stress. I won't be there in person." She smirked a little, like she had won. "But this recording," I added, "I'm keeping it. Not to drag you online, not to embarrass you. To remind myself that I tried to explain and you still chose your story over me." Her mouth opened like she wanted to spit something back, but no words came out. "I'm leaving now," I said. "But this isn't over for me." Then I clicked "Leave meeting." The screen went black. The apartment was suddenly so quiet it almost buzzed. My phone buzzed on the desk beside me. A notification from my bank. Another from my grandma. "Are you okay? I'm so sorry about what happened. Call me when you can, sweetheart." I stared at those words until they blurred. My roommate Maya came home a few minutes later. She walked into the kitchen, then stopped when she saw my face. "That bad?" she asked. "You could say that," I said weakly. She put on the kettle and let me talk. I told her almost everything. About the cheating, the screenshots, the divorce, the way my mom had pinned everything on me, the Zoom call, the sentence that had cut right through me. "We don't want to see your face at her graduation." When I finished, she blew out a long breath. "That's a lot," she said. "Yeah," I muttered. "Kind of the theme of my life lately." "Okay," she said. "Honest opinion? Your mom is rewriting history to protect herself, and everyone else is letting her, because then they don't have to face how messy the truth really is." "That's what it feels like," I admitted. "And you," she added, "sound like someone who tried to help in the worst way you knew how, and now you're paying for everyone else's mistakes." Tears slid down my cheeks before I could stop them. "I keep wondering if maybe I should have stayed out of it," I whispered. "If I had just kept my head down, maybe they would have fixed it themselves." "Your dad still cheated," she said. "Your mom still made her choices. You didn't create that. You just pulled the curtain back." I nodded slowly. "I recorded the call," I told her. "Part of me feels guilty, like I crossed some line." "Did you tell them you were recording?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "I didn't hide it." "Then you didn't cross a line," she replied. "You just refused to keep living under theirs." That night, after she went to bed, I opened my laptop again. I replayed the recording. But this time, I listened like an outsider. Not the scared kid everyone was yelling at, not the blamed daughter, just a person, hearing a story being twisted in real time. Every time my mom lied or bent the truth, I paused and wrote it down. She says I called outsiders to destroy the marriage. Reality? I texted one family friend after she had already confronted Dad and threatened divorce. She claims I'm the reason Dad left. Reality? He told me he was leaving because he couldn't live in constant war, and he was ashamed of what he did. She says I abandoned the family. Reality? I left after months of being blamed and screamed at, after she told me over and over that I was ungrateful and toxic. I pulled up old text messages. My dad apologizing. I'm sorry I put you in the middle. My mom threatening him. If you walk out, don't expect these girls to still be yours. Dates, times, screenshots from well before I ever reached out for help. I laid everything out in a timeline. On one side, the real dates. When she found out, when they fought, when I texted that family friend, when my dad moved out. On the other side, the dates she'd given everyone else. They didn't match, at all. Seeing it in black and white did something to me. For the first time in a long time, I believed myself. The next day, I did something I'd been avoiding. I called my dad. He picked up on the third ring, sounding out of breath. "Emma?" he said. "Hey, everything okay?" "Not really," I said. "I need to ask you something." "Okay," he said carefully. "I joined a family Zoom yesterday," I told him, "about Lily's graduation. Mom told me they don't want to see my face there. She told everyone again that I blew everything up, that I destroyed the family." Silence on his end. "I recorded it," I added. "I told them I was recording, so it's not a secret, but I need an honest answer from you." "All right," he said. "Ask." "Did I break this family?" I asked. Not Mom's version, not the twisted one. From your point of view, did I destroy us? His silence felt heavy this time. Finally, he said, very quietly, "No, I did." Those 4 words made my eyes sting. "I'm the one who sent those messages," he continued. "I'm the one who lied. I'm the one who didn't walk away when I should have, or fight for the marriage when there was still something to fight for. You were a kid. You were trying to help your mother, and I let you get crushed in the crossfire." "Then why didn't you say that?" I whispered. "Why did you let her make me the target?" "Every time I tried," he said, his voice heavy with shame. "She'd say I was just protecting you, that I loved you more, that I was turning you against her. And I was exhausted, ashamed. I told myself that if me being quiet made things calmer, I'd take it. I didn't realize I was letting you take it instead." I let that sink in. "I'm putting something together," I told him. "A message for the family, for Lily. It's going to tell the truth. I won't lie for you, but I also won't add anything extra, just the facts. Are you going to back me up if they come to you?" "Yes," he said. "I will tell them exactly what I told you, that you didn't destroy this family, that my choices and your mother's reactions did that, and that I'm sorry I didn't defend you sooner. It wasn't enough to erase the past, but it was something." I hung up feeling clearer. Then I opened a blank email. At the top, I wrote, "To everyone who thinks they know what happened." I told my side, calmly, point by point, with dates, with screenshots. I admitted where I'd gone wrong. I owned what was mine, but I refused to carry what wasn't. At the end, I wrote, "I'm not sending this to turn you against Mom. I'm sending it so you stop telling a story about me that isn't true. You can be upset with how I handled things. You can feel uncomfortable about the divorce, the cheating, all of it. But you don't get to say I destroyed this family anymore, not after seeing the whole picture." Then I wrote another message. This one was just for Lily. "Lily, I'm not sending this to ruin your graduation. I'm sending it because I don't want you to build your next chapter on a lie about who I am. You don't have to forgive me. You don't have to invite me. You don't even have to respond. But you deserve to know everything, not just one version." I attached what I sent the family, the timeline, a few screenshots, a letter I wrote just for you. If you still hate me after reading it, I'll respect that. I won't show up where I'm not wanted. But if there's even a small part of you that wonders if there's more to all of this, please read it. I love you. That part has always been true. M. My finger hovered over send longer than I want to admit. Then I clicked. First to Lily, then to the family group email my mom usually ruled over. The responses started coming in within minutes. My grandma, I'm reading, I'm crying, I'm so sorry, Emma. My aunt, I had no idea, I'm sorry we didn't ask you sooner. My uncle, and this is a lot, we need time. My cousin, I always felt like something was off. Thank you for explaining. Not everyone apologized. Not everyone said they believed me, but no one called me a liar. Then came the notification I'd been waiting for and dreading. Lily. I read it, she texted. Just that. No opinion, no judgment, just a fact. I didn't respond right away. I didn't push. Later that night, another message came through. Why didn't you tell me all this sooner? I typed back. Every time I tried, you shut me down, and I didn't want to be one more person ripping your version of okay away before you were ready. Dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. I'm so mad, she wrote. At you, at mom, at dad, at everyone. You should be, I replied. You didn't deserve any of this. A longer pause. Are you still coming to the graduation? She asked. My heart lurched. Mom told me not to, I wrote. I don't want to make it worse for you. What if I want you there? She replied. I stared at the screen, then typed, then I'll be there. I'll sit in the back. I won't cause a scene. I just want to see you walk. Okay, she wrote back. I'll send you a ticket. Don't tell Mom. Your secret is safe with me, I answered. Graduation day came faster than I expected. The school parking lot was a nightmare. Cars everywhere. Parents sweating in dress clothes. Kids in blue caps and gowns laughing like nothing bad had ever happened to them. I sat in my car for a minute, staring at the building, breathing slowly. You shouldn't be here, that little voice whispered. She told you not to come. Then I remembered Lily's text. What if I want you there? Her voice mattered more. I walked to the field and slipped into the crowd. No one here knew my story. No one knew I was the disgrace of my family. I was just another person looking for a folding chair. I spotted my family from a distance. My mom was adjusting Lily's sash, smiling for someone's phone camera. Lily looked beautiful, nervous, strong. For a moment, I just watched. I wanted to run over and hug her, but we had a plan. Lily had told me not to come straight to the family section. Mom will freak out, she'd texted. Wait until after, I'll find you. So I sat in the back, next to strangers. The ceremony dragged the way ceremonies do. Speeches, bad jokes. The principal talking about resilience, like he had any idea what that actually looked like. Then they started calling names. When they said Lily Harper, I leaned forward. She walked across the stage, shoulders back, chin up. I'm here, I whispered. I see you. After the ceremony, chaos exploded. People rushed the field. Confetti somehow appeared, even though I was pretty sure it was banned. Groups posed for pictures. It was loud and messy and happy. My phone buzzed. Where are you? Lily texted. I sent her a picture of the big Welcome Seniors banner near my section. A minute later, I saw her weaving through the crowd, gown swishing, cap in her hand. When our eyes met, she stopped for half a second. Then she raced the rest of the way and threw her arms around me. I'm so mad at you, she mumbled into my shoulder. I know, I said, hugging her back. I'm so glad you're here, she added, squeezing tighter. Tears burned my eyes. Me too, I whispered. We pulled back and wiped our faces. You look old, she said, wrinkling her nose. Wow, I said. Rude. In a good way, she laughed. Like, grown? You look like you're about to run this whole place, I said. Or set it on fire. Hard to tell. She smiled, then glanced past me and stiffened. Mom is going to lose it when she sees you, she said. I know, I replied. If she starts something, I'll walk away. This isn't about me. Just then, I heard that familiar voice. Lily! We both turned. My mom was heading straight for us, her eyes already narrowed. There you are, she said to Lily, grabbing her arm. Everyone's waiting for pictures, and then her gaze slid over to me. She froze. What is she doing here? She demanded, like I wasn't standing right there. Mom, Lily started. I told you, my mom said, ignoring me. I told you this would happen. She can't stand not making everything about herself, on your day of all days. I'm not making anything about me, I said calmly. I'm standing in the back, like we agreed. Lily invited me. My mom's eyes snapped back to Lily. You went behind my back? She hissed. After everything I told you? After what she did? What she did, Lily said slowly. Or what you said she did. My mom's lips parted. What is that supposed to mean? She asked. It means I read Emma's letter, Lily said. I saw the dates. I saw the messages. Your version doesn't line up, Mom. You're letting her brainwash you now? Mom shot back. You know how she is. She twists everything. I've been quiet for a year, Lily said, her voice shaking but loud. I listened to your version. I let you talk about her like she was the worst thing that ever happened to us. Now I'm listening to hers. That's not brainwashing. That's fairness. People nearby were starting to watch, not full-on staring, but those quick glances, the kind that say, we're not involved, but we're definitely listening. This is not the time, my mom hissed. We're in public. We are not going to have one of your little truth shows here. Then stop pushing it, I said quietly. I'm not here to fight you. I'm here for my sister. You're the one making a scene. She glared at me. You don't get to say that, she spat. You blew up my life, and now you want to play the victim. I'm not a victim, I said. I'm just not your scapegoat anymore. Lily stepped between us slightly, like a physical line. Here's what's going to happen, she said, voice surprisingly steady. I'm going to take pictures with my family. That includes Emma. You can be in them too, Mom. Or you can step away. But you're not banning my sister from my graduation photos. My mom stared at her like she'd never seen her before. After everything I've done for you, she said, I stayed when your father walked out. I held this family together. He walked out because he cheated. Lily cut in. He told me. And you knew long before you pretended you did. You made it sound like Emma exposed it out of nowhere. That's not true. My mom's face went pale, then flushed. Is that what she told you? She asked. That I'm some kind of manipulative monster and she's the poor little hero? She told me what happened, Lily said. Then I looked at the dates, the messages, the recording from the Zoom, and for once, I saw the cracks in your story instead of pretending they weren't there. This is unbelievable, my mom whispered. On your graduation day. You're doing this to me on your graduation day. I'm not doing anything to you, Lily said. I'm doing something for me. I'm choosing not to live in a lie anymore. That doesn't mean I don't love you. It means I'm not going to hate Emma just because it's more comfortable for you. For a second, I thought my mom might scream, or start crying, or walk off. Instead, she did something worse. She went quiet. Her eyes glistened, and her mouth twisted into this wounded, pitiful shape. You'll regret this, she said softly. Both of you will. Then she turned and walked away. Not dramatically. Not with stomping. Just walked, like she was carrying something heavy and wanted everyone to see. Lily let out a breath that sounded like it had been stuck inside her for years. You okay? I asked. No, she said honestly. But I also feel lighter? I don't know. It's weird. You're allowed to feel both, I said. It's a big shift. Are you going to leave? She asked. Not unless you want me to, I said. But I meant what I said. If things get ugly, I'll walk away. I'm not here to make it worse. She shook her head. I don't want you to leave, she said. For once, I want you in the picture instead of everyone pretending you don't exist. We took pictures. Just us at first. Then with Grandma, who pulled us both into her arms and cried openly. My girls, she kept saying. My girls, together. A little later, my dad showed up, hovering near the edge of the crowd, like he wasn't sure if he was invited. Lily waved him over. He hugged her, then looked at me like he was waiting for permission. I gave him a small nod. We took a picture with all four of us. It was awkward and uneven and not at all like the old family photos, but it was real. Afterward, as everyone packed into cars to head to Grandma's house for food, Lily turned to me. They're going to Grandma's, she said. Mom's already there in spirit, I'm sure, telling everyone how awful we are. Then I should probably go home, I said. Let things calm down. No, she said firmly. Come. If it's bad, you can leave. But I want you there. I want them to see us in the same room without the world ending. I hesitated. Are you sure? I asked. Yes, she said. I'm tired of living in this fake story where you're the villain and I'm the helpless child. That ends today. So I went. Grandma's house smelled the same as always. Roast chicken, fresh bread, something sweet in the oven. like all the good Sundays before everything got complicated. Walking inside with Lily felt like stepping into a place I loved and feared at the same time. Some conversations stopped when I walked in, others didn't. My mom stood by the dining table with a drink in her hand, talking quietly to my aunt. She saw me. Her face tightened, but she didn't say anything. That, honestly, scared me more than if she'd screamed. Grandma dragged me into the kitchen like a woman on a mission. "You," she said, hugging me, "come help me with the plates." In the safety of the kitchen, away from my mom's burning stare, she took my face in her hands. "I read what you wrote," she said. "I'm so sorry, Emma. I should have seen what was happening." "You were in a hard spot," I said. "She's your daughter." "And you're my granddaughter," she replied. I thought staying neutral was the safest choice. Now I see that sometimes neutral just means standing next to the person doing the hurting. We talked quietly while we set out food. She admitted she'd always known my mom had a hard time taking responsibility, that blaming other people was her way of surviving her own shame, that she'd seen her do it to my dad, to her own parents, to friends. "And this time," Grandma said, "she did it to you, and we let her." I felt a mix of sadness and relief. "I don't hate her," I said softly. "I really don't. I'm angry, I'm hurt, but I don't want her destroyed. I just wanted her to stop destroying me." "That's the difference," Grandma said. "Her idea of justice is punishment. Yours is boundaries." Later, after food and awkward small talk, I found Lily on the back porch. We sat side by side on the old steps, looking out at the yard we'd played in as kids. "I talked to Mom," she said quietly. "How did that go?" I asked. "She cried a lot," Lily said. "Said I was choosing you over her. Said you had poisoned me. Said she didn't know how we could be a family if I insisted on believing the worst." "And what did you say?" I asked. "I told her believing the truth isn't believing the worst," Lily said. "It's just seeing things as they are. I told her I can love her and still see where she went wrong. Same with Dad. Same with you. I'm tired of having to pick a hero and a villain." A tear slid down my cheek. "I'm proud of you," I said. That's a lot to say to her. I was shaking the whole time, she admitted, but it also felt right. We were quiet for a moment. "Do you forgive me?" I finally asked. "For what?" she asked. "For the screenshots," I said. "For not telling you everything sooner. For leaving instead of staying and fighting." She thought about it. "I don't know if I'm fully there yet," she said honestly, "but I understand now. I get that you were holding something too heavy with no help. I get that you did the wrong thing for the right reason. That's different from what Mom made it sound like." I nodded. "That's fair," I said. "I don't fully forgive myself either, but I'm starting to see that I wasn't the monster in this story." She nudged my shoulder. "For what it's worth," she said, "I don't want you out of my life. I want you in the next chapters, not as the villain, as my sister, who messes up sometimes but is still mine." Inside, through the open door, we could hear my mom talking, laughing too loud, probably telling whatever version of today made her feel most safe. I realized something right then. She might never change. She might never fully admit what she did. She might always tell people I twisted things, that I turned Lily against her, that I played the victim. I can't control that. What I can control is my own story. My revenge wasn't watching her fall apart. It was this, sitting on that porch beside my sister, knowing that the lie that had been eating me alive for a year had finally been dragged into the light, knowing that I had stepped back into a space my mom swore she'd keep me out of, my sister's graduation, and the world didn't implode. Knowing that for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel crazy. When I left that night, the air was cool. I walked to my car, looked back at the house I'd grown up in, and felt something I hadn't expected to feel. Not hate, not longing, just distance. A healthy kind. I wasn't locked out anymore, but I also wasn't locked in. On the drive home, my phone buzzed at a red light. It was a text from Lily. "Thank you for coming. I want you in the next chapter of my life. Not as the villain, as my big sister." I smiled through fresh tears. I realized then that revenge doesn't always look like someone getting what they deserve. Sometimes the deepest revenge is this. You stop letting their version of you define your life. You gather your proof. You tell your story. You stand in the places they said you were not allowed to stand anymore. And you keep your head high, even when their voice is still in your ears saying, "We don't want to see your face." Because the truth is, not everyone gets to decide what you belong to, not even your own mother. In my case, the quiet revenge wasn't destroying her. It was refusing to let her destroy me, and making sure my sister finally saw the truth before she built her life on a lie about who I am. This was my file. My name is Emma, and this was the day my mom said, "We don't want to see your face at her graduation." And the truth finally spilled out.